Greetings, friends. I am Obsidian. While we are waiting for the next episode from the original series by Dafuk Boom, this video and the next is going to be a little bit different. I am going to be talking about Plunger Cameraman and Camera Woman. I will talk about every other special agent from each race in the future. But for this video alone, I will only be talking about Plunger Cameraman and Camera Woman's lore. I will also talk about the Titans in the future, but only after I've gone through every special agent. Now that I've explained the premise of this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I would really appreciate it, and it would let me know that you guys enjoy these different types of videos that are different from just regular episode analysis videos. Without further ado, let's begin! For the camera race, the main special agent was Plunger Cameraman. He is the assassin special agent of the camera race and the bravest cameraman we've seen thus far, and he is very loyal with his race and to the cause of war. We first saw him for real in episode 43, but he was actually in the series way before that, as we saw in the episode 73 flashbacks. So technically, he first appeared as a cameraman between episodes 14 and 15. But more flashbacks show that he was seen as a human back on September 16th, 1985. While it is not properly confirmed, it is heavily implied that the man known as Dave in the 10:30 AM footage is Plunger Cameraman's human form. This is because the flashbacks take a heavy focus on Camera Woman and Plunger Cameraman's memories together, and since we see the two humans to the right interact together, they're likely the same people as Plunger Cameraman and Camera Woman before the war fully began. Not only that, but Dave is dressed similarly to Plunger Cameraman, and he seems more focused on the experiment, just as Plunger Cameraman is always focused on battle. But he does show a thumbs up when Kathy isn't noticing him, and that is something that Plunger Cameraman would usually do. The next time we see him, he is Plunger Cameraman between the events of episode 14 and 15. He is seen with one plunger and a red tie, with no glow on his flash. He does the same thumbs up before heading out to face the fast rocket Skibidi toilet that caused him some injuries, because on the next flashback, he is seen with a missing leg, and using his plunger as a cane, as he stands by mech scientist Cameraman watching Titan Cameraman get his upgrades. We then see him when Titan Speakerman was infected, and by this time, he has just been hiding out with Camera Woman and observing the situations unfold. We then see him again in episode 39, and while the POV is not confirmed to be him because the shirt color is different, I still think it could be him because the POV threw a plunger at a Skibidi toilet's face and flushed him, just like how Plunger Cameraman himself did to a scientist toilet in episode 68, and the vibes are very similar. The character also had one plunger, which is also what Plunger Cameraman himself had in the flashbacks. So they are most likely supposed to be the same person. We see him again with a plunger in episode 40, and he receives a protective lens, and then we see him for real, for the first time in the series, when episode 43 begins. He is shown to have the red tie and a plunger, while he's sitting down on a toilet next to mech scientist Cameraman, and the unlucky Cameraman, and one other Cameraman. When the TV men retreat, he and his scientist buddy are the first ones to engage in combat before the episode ends. We then see him again in episode 45, and he is seen camping behind a house watching the Titan TV man versus infected Titan Speakerman fight. There are some nearby toilets, likely implying that he took them out with ease. Also, the secret agent is seen in the house opposite, which got many people to initially believe that he started keeping an eye on Plunger Cameraman from that moment. The next time Plunger Cameraman was seen was in episode 48. His tie color changed to black, and he had another plunger. In this episode, POV mech scientist Cameraman got temporarily killed by a buzzsaw toilet, but Plunger Cameraman dodged him and the explosion he was creating, which is why we see him again in episode 50, being the only cameraman with the guts to stand out and defend the camera base before Titan Cameraman returned. From this moment onwards, Titan Cameraman saw his bravery and recruited him. We saw this as Plunger. Cameraman was with Titan Cameraman in episode 51 and in episode 52. He is seen saving the POV from a Skibidi toilet by plunging it to death. By this point, he now has a blue glow on his flash, just like Titan Cameraman's lens, and he also has a jetpack. This particular moment was also when Camera Woman was first introduced in this series, and it was seen in a flashback. Then, Plunger Cameraman shows up again in episode 53 as he plunges another toilet, and he has the guts to face off against the UFO Astro toilet before Titan Cameraman intervenes. Plunger Cameraman is seen again in episode 55, having taken out a crowd of Skibidi toilets on his own. He then shows up again in episode 57 to try to be the one to disinfect Titan Speakerman, but he fails to do so because Titan Speakerman reacts fast enough, and we see Plunger Cameraman throw a plunger as his last resort before his lower body is crushed and he is seemingly dead on the floor. However, Plunger Cameraman is then seen being taken away by TV Woman to be able to bring him back. This moment was also seen in a flashback. The next time we see Plunger Cameraman is not until much later, when episode 63 is released. He is now seen upgraded, using the previously captured glitch toilet from episode 54 to his aid. This gives him the ability to quickly take out opponents before they even realize it. As he incapacitates the muscle mutant, he is seen still having legs after he gets out of the glitch toilet. He also flips off Lucky Cameraman. We then see him again in episode 66, taking out a Laser Strider Skibidi toilet and having a W handshake with his bro, Dark Speaker Man. He leaves because a TV man ordered him to, because of the toilets invading, but he came back to aid Titan Cameraman and Titan Speakerman in the fight against the scientist toilet mech, but he got stopped by a sound wave, and his glitch toilet mech suit was lasered, but it also protected him from taking any more damage. And because of that, he is then seen again running towards the squad that is infiltrating the Skibidi base. We see that he is fine, but he is in somewhat of a rough shape. He gets given his plunger by one of the twin green cameramen, and he is seen looking at the blue shirt large cameraman before they begin to explore the base. The next time we see him, he is the POV from episode 68 until episode 70 for the most part. He and his squad defeat a couple of scientist toilets, and the secret agent takes control of him, most likely using him to see if he is being spied on. This causes the squad to get caught, and as he blue shirt large cameraman dies in the elevator, Plunger Cameraman gets given his lens to keep and use just in case. He likely got his lens broken during either episode 57 or 67, assuming he is the same cameraman as the one from episode 40, which is likely. This makes Plunger Cameraman angry, and we see him attacking a Skibidi toilet with Wolverine claws. In the next episode, his plungers also got upgraded with spikes, and it is more effective in killing enemies. We see him use it against a mutant toilet, and it disfigures his face, ending the mutant off slowly. He and the squad then run from the Michael Jackson toilet, but the twin green cameramen get left behind by Dark Speakerman because they weren't going to make it through before Michael Jackson got to the squad. So they seemingly died, and this got Plunger Cameraman pissed at his bro Dark Speakerman. It stayed this way when Dark Speakerman tried to help him up. Then, he went into a secret room with the remaining squad members and found out some Skibidi toilet secrets before getting ambushed by the Mute Claw toilet. Dark Speakerman saved him and got him to turn around to put on the lens, and then he saved Dark Speakerman by breaking the TV screen with his plunger, shooting the toilet in the eyes and finishing it off with his plunger. He grabs Lucky Cameraman's controller and ports it from here. He also gets headphones and jetpack upgrades, and then he and Dark Speakerman are helped by the secret agent behind the scenes in order to get to the scientist toilet faster. He closes the back door with the remote so that no enemies could come in. He also deactivates the room's lasers, and a door. He also stops the scientist toilet from teleporting and engages with him in a battle. The battle begins, and he almost gets lasered, but Dark Speakerman intervenes, and Plunger Cameraman tries to attack, but gets knocked back, so he flies back to the scientist toilet, and Dark Speaker Man helps him even as half a body. He gives him the edge to injure the scientist toilet with his plunger and deflects a laser shot with his gun, though not entirely because he ends up losing his legs, as he is unable to fight for the rest of the episode. After the scientist toilet is killed, he takes off the lens and goes to Dark Speakerman to share one last handshake before he passes away. At this point, he sees Lucky Cameraman phasing out as he then leaves, and then sees the twin green cameraman again, who connect his consciousness to the secret agent, who tells him that he did a great job and tells him about the next threat. But the secret agent unfortunately wants Plunger Cameraman dead because he knows a lot about the secret agent, without even working for him directly. So the secret agent gives Plunger cameraman the edge to succumb to his injuries as he sees camera woman struggling, and he looks up at Titan cameraman, giving one last thumbs up before he dies. We see how much of an influence he had on the Alliance as all the other cameramen give a thumbs up, expressing their condolences, and we know that his legacy will live on, because characters like Camera Woman, Mech Scientist Cameraman, Laser Large Cameraman, and specifically Titan Cameraman, are inspired by Plunger Cameraman, and they want to avenge him. This shows that he was one of the most loved and important members of the Alliance as a whole, and he will be missed. The next character is Camera Woman. Camera Woman is the only woman in the camera race that is still alive. She is a brave character, and she is inspired by Plunger Cameraman. She is mainly a character who attacks long range, and she has a lock-on system to enemies. We first saw a Camera Woman in episode 29 during the glitch toilet attack, but there is no way to know if that character is the same as Kathy's Camera Woman. But it looked like she died. So I don't think that was the same. Still something to think about though. However, we first saw Camera Woman herself on screen in episode 52. But before that, we learned that she was in the series pretty early on, and first showed up as a Camera Woman, the same time that Plunger Cameraman showed up. However, she was seen as a human before. In that same flashback that was played from her memories, she is seen as a woman named Kathy, that wears the same outfit as Camera Woman, but without the trench coat. She also does a double thumbs up, just like Camera Woman, and that gesture is only unique to her, so this to me says that they're the same character. She also seemed to be crushing on human Plunger Cameraman in that flashback, and she likely did have romantic feelings for him if his death is affecting her this much, and she is reminiscing about their times together in episode 73. She got a much bigger focus after he died, but we'll get onto that soon. After her human flashbacks, she was seen with Plunger Cameraman in every other instance flashback before episode 52. In episode 52, we saw her character for the first time. She was standing behind a billboard to begin with, but then she came out and showed Plunger Cameraman a double thumbs up. This moment was referenced again as a flashback. The moment other Skibidi toilets showed up then, she tracked every Skibidi toilet in that area, and she showcased an ability never seen before. She locked onto each target, and she killed all of the toilets in the area one by one. She shoots darts that stun or kill Skibidi toilets, and when she goes on her lock-on mode, her camera lens becomes red, and she arches her back a bit to the front in order to expose her gun that she has, and take down every opponent in sight. The next time we saw her was in episode 53, though she only had a minor appearance, and she just briefly showed up in episode 55. In episode 57, she had a bigger role when she, Lucky Cameraman, and the POV cameraman were attacking G-Man in order to distract him long enough for Titan's Speakerman to get disinfected. Her darts in particular caused G-Man's face to start tweaking out, and then he left. She also saw the moment where TV Woman saved Plunger Cameraman, as this is referenced in a flashback. She then showed up again, not until much later. In episode 66, she was seen taking out helicopter Skibidi toilets, and this was the first time she was seen with the two other women from both of the other Alliance races. She also showed the same double thumbs up to Plunger Cameraman when he showed up, just as she previously did in episode 52, so this clearly shows that she likes him a lot. After the Skibidi toilets start invading, TV Woman teleports her and Speaker Woman away from the area, and we don't see her until episode 70. In episode 70, we see her with some upgrades. She now has a jetpack. She has 2 copies of the dart gun she had on her back, but now they're attached to her forearms. And now, she also has a new blaster behind her back. So she has more long-range weapons now. She is seen with the other women again, as they show up just after the detainer Astro Toilet confronts the Titans. She and the other women follow the Laser Large Cameraman in another entrance to the Skibidi bunker. We don't see her again until the Scientist Toilet battle, where she and the other women, along with the Laser Large Cameraman ambush the Scientist Toilet mech from behind. She and her friends make it inside of the Scientist Toilet mech, and they all start attacking the real Scientist Toilet from inside, before he throws them out, leaving his mech suit in a panic. She readies her guns, and then watches as the Titans kill the scientist Toilet. She and the other women stand by the assassin duo who is heavily injured. We get more info from her POV in a flashback. We see her trying to comfort Speaker Woman because she just lost Dark Speakerman, but Speaker Woman is not in the mood, and then she looks at Plunger Cameraman, who at this point just heard the secret agent's speech. She watches as she sees him confused and lighting up on fire with green sparks being emitted. She tries to go to Plunger Cameraman, likely to try to save him somehow, but she gets stopped by TV Woman so that she doesn't catch on Plunger Cameraman's fire. The next time we see her is in episode 73, where she has her series of flashbacks with Plunger Cameraman that she watches from a tablet. From this point on, we see her in a camera copter as she cocks her armed dart guns and she flies off killing the flying Skibidi toilets in her way, as she comes down kicking the glasses off of a buzzsaw Strider Skibidi toilet. She then shoots it in the eyes with her dart guns and then stabs it in the face with Plunger Cameraman's spiky plunger. She probably has it now, in order to carry on Plunger Cameraman's legacy. She then throws 2 explosive paper rolls into the toilet, and then she flips off the Skibidi toilet as she backs off, watching it explode. She then helps up an engineer cameraman, and then she locks onto some rocket Skibidi toilets with her new blaster, and she shoots every one of those Skibidi toilets, killing them in return. So then, everyone is grateful that she came along and saved the day for a brief moment. As she walks forwards, we see the secret agent watching her now. And then the muscle mutant returns upgraded. He kills 2 cameramen in front of her, and he walks to her like a menace, but TV Woman saves Camera Woman by taking control of the scientist toilet mech, making that guy run away and killing the other Skibidi toilets in the area. She looks at the tablet to make sure, and then she gives the mech a thumbs up. From here on out, she watches as TV Woman shoots down a container and tries to kill G-Man. He completely lasers the scientist toilet mech, and Camera Woman thinks that TV Woman may have died. As she reaches her arm out, then she flies up to somewhere higher to try to take out the container Skibidi toilets with her blasters, and then she almost gets lasered by G-Man, but she gets saved by Titan Speakerman, causing G-Man to get distracted. She watches as the fight between the Titan trio and G-Man occurs, and at a certain point, when Titan Cameraman gets his leg blown off, it even affects Camera Woman, and it blows her right arm off along with one of her dart guns. We see her examine her situation, and then she watches the rest of the fight. After G-Man and the Titans leave, she flies back down to her area, and she sees the assassin Aura TV man, who tells her to mind her own business. She then gets her wound cauterized by an engineer cameraman, and her arm stops bleeding. She also sees TV Woman again, and then she flies into a part of the Skibidi base and takes down some Skibidi toilets with the use of her new blaster and Plunger Cameraman's plunger. She then eventually finds a door where a group of humans are being kept hidden. These guys are survivors of the Skibidi virus, and Camera Woman shows a thumbs up to these survivors, showing that she is an ally to them. We don't see her again until most recently, episode 76, Secret Scene. She is seen in the cameraman base, but she looks a little different now. She now has headphones and her trench coat is off, just like it was when she was Kathy. She also has her weapon upgrades gone, and her right arm has been fixed. She likely came to the camera base after she found the humans, and then she went to the infirmary room to get her arm fixed in place, and they needed her to take her trench coat and her weapons off in order to bring her arm back. Meanwhile, she got easy access to headphones, and Plunger Cameraman's plunger has been upgraded to suit her style more, having it be fully black, with an interesting texture and a spike at the end of the plunger. She's likely waiting on getting better upgrades before she goes onto the battlefield again. The secret scene has her shaking in anger because of the TV men's incompetence to save normal cameraman lives, and them preferring to study the astrotechnology over saving the cameramen themselves, like they're nothing. So when a TV man shows up, she throws a TV at him, and the red shirt large cameraman attacks him too, and the TV man says, "You will regret it." He probably means that they will regret not studying the astrotechnology right away, and as he disappears. We see Camera Woman picking up her plunger. Now assuming her position as Plunger Woman, the episode ends with her plunger activating its spike. Plunger Camera Woman is clearly affected by Plunger Cameraman's death, and she started getting a bigger focus after he died, which means that she is going to be a very important character going forwards, and she is Plunger Cameraman's successor. Hopefully she doesn't die though. I would prefer if she succeeded him without dying. I think that she is going to absolutely take out Astro Toilets going forwards for Plunger. But what did you think of this video, friends? Do you think that Plunger Cameraman will return? Do you think that Camera Woman will die? Do you think this turn of events will happen at the same time? And do you think that Plunger Cameraman and Camera Woman can ever be together one day in some way? Do you have any theories about the next episode itself? If you do think any of these will happen, or if you want to leave any theories about the next episode, let me know by writing them in the comments, as they're always welcome. Also, come join Chasing Skylar's Discord, where you will find Skibidi leaks, Genesis leaks, and other Skibidi leaks, and chat to the wonderful community there, where you could also theorize. Thank you for watching my video. I was Obsidian, and until next time, my friends.